Assistant Professor Dr. Tạ Thị Minh Ngọc from Faculty of Chemical Engineering. She will be the chair for the workshop. Please give her an applause.
Thank you for presenting. So my name is Minh Ngọc. I'm from the Faculty of Chemistry of Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology. So, good morning, professors and colleagues. And so I'm happy to chair the workshop today. And we will have two presenters. And so now I would like to present the first presenter. So Dr. Tạ Doãn Thành. And Dr. Tạ Doãn Thành is holding PhD from the Fengshui University in Taiwan, and now today he will present about the biohydrogen production toward the net zero. So please, Dr. Tạ Doãn Thành.
May I have the pointer? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see you all here in such a beautiful day. And we have the fascinating conference room and a lot of brilliant faces today. And I'm so excited to share with you about the topic regarding the biohydrogen production. It's actually for me, I've been working for the biohydrogen production for like 5 years, and it's been like 5 years since my last experiment before I moved to another topic. So for the today topic, what happened with this one? Sorry? Our topic today is biohydrogen towards the net zero strategy. Actually, for me, I would prefer to say not just the net zero, but like net negative, not just zero. Okay, now it's normally functioning. Okay. Sorry. So I would like to introduce myself. So this is my Vietnamese name, Tạ Doãn Thành. But actually this name is very hard to pronounce for foreigners. So, like my professor, he said that how to pronounce this one? Is that Tan or something? I don't even remember. But then he asked me, you should choose the English name. So this is my English name, Michael. Just call me Michael if you cannot pronounce this one. So right now, before February, I was the senior researcher at Seatuc company from Taiwan. So or maybe you can call that Chinese Taipei. And my expertise is working with E. coli. I play with its genetic, and okay, so I develop a lot of strain, and in the end, it will produce something useful, something that my company can sell for money. So E. coli, metabolic engineering, and those are the products that I've been working on. One of them is biohydrogen. But actually for biohydrogen, at that time, I haven't studied this one yet. I just do the fermentation. And also biohydrogen, if maybe you have seen this term somewhere before, biohydrogen. Biohydrogen is a combination of biohydrogen and biomethane. And then I work with ethanol and also the polyhydroxyalkanoate. This one is a kind of bioplastic. And also lactic acid. Lactic acid also bioplastic. And I remember I see somewhere out there there's some topic they discuss about how to digest the POA. So POA is the polymerization form of the lactic acid. And I would like to introduce a little bit about my company because actually, if I want to join any conference, they say that I need to introduce the company for at least like 1 minute. So Avatec is the company name, and the 4 pillars is the group names. So we have a lot of partners around the world, and what we're doing is the adhesive solution. Or like my brother-in-law just said that I'm working for the tape company, but actually we're not just selling the tape. What we do is adhesive, and also sustainable material. So it was since 1965. We do a lot of things. We provide adhesive material to a lot of industry, like the EE, the semiconductor, and the automotive, which I have no idea about this field. This is my field, green material. So I do bioplastic in the company, and some of my bioplastic, they use that for green agriculture. They do the mulch film, and they have some like cooperation with some Japanese company. I believe there's a lot of Japanese here, right? And another stuff like green architecture and medical. This one also use some of my bioplastic. And in Vietnam, we have 2 factories from Bình Dương, Mercury Advanced Material, and from the north is the Fortuna Advanced Materials. So that's pretty much about my company. And about the biohydrogen, this is where I work. Fengshan University, we have the cooperation with Fengshan University. And here on the 7th floor and the 9th floor, we have the Apex Research Center for Advanced Biohydrogen Technology, and a lot of Association Hydrogen Energy Taiwan chapter. And actually, I study here. My professor is the director of all of this stuff. So this is one of the prototype. It's just a lab scale for biohydrogen production. As you can see here, it's just a 10-second video, but actually it used to be one of the most happiest 10 seconds of my life, because I can produce some, you can see that the gas bubble here is actually, that is the biohydrogen. So of course, I need to analyze this by the GC to know that is a hydrogen, 40% hydrogen. So let's go back to our topic, net zero. Actually, before I produce any biohydrogen, I don't even know about the net zero. So we can make the conclusion, summarize for the net zero is the greenhouse gas produced equal to greenhouse gas removed. So what does it do with the biohydrogen? So first, I would like to say something about the net zero. Why do we need net zero? So right now, we are here, Ho Chi Minh City. And according to the NGO called, you can see that the Climate Central. So this organization, they claim that they provide the data for the UN climate change program in 2021 something. And here is what they predict. All the red area right here is going to be under the annual flooding level in 2050, which means at least for once in a year, you will have the flood in this area. So actually it's very interesting. I see that we are right here, the region that doesn't have been affected by this one, even to 2050. But anyway, this is the big area, and we don't want this to happen. So one of the solutions is that we need to cut off the greenhouse gas emission. So otherwise, you see, this is Ho Chi Minh City last year, 2024. I remember somewhere between August and September. And this happened maybe a few times for every year or something. And it could get worse, which means maybe not just a few times, but like a dozen of times or something. And I don't think we can live here. We can live in the constant condition like this. So this is the data provided from NASA. Greenhouse gas emission, they said that has been skyrocketed since the first industry revolution. So you can see that around this is the methane emission, 174% comparing to before the industrial revolution. And this is the carbon dioxide. Since, I don't know how they can get this data, but they said that since the year 800, the carbon dioxide is just around like 200 or something, and then up to now, it just go up to around 400 ppm. And most of them is carbon dioxide, 80%, and 12% is methane. But actually this one is worse than this one. And you can see here, this is the data from the EU, and they said that energy supply and domestic products are the most producing source for the greenhouse gas emission. Like this one, 27, 23. So that's why one of the first things we can think about is how to deal with these two, energy supply and domestic transport. So that's why one of the solutions is the hydrogen. So you can see that the hydrogen is renewable, and that is the most important element in this universe. Also, when we burn that one, we emit mostly water. I say mostly water because when you burn the hydrogen, it's going to generate a lot of heat, and the air around us not just contain the oxygen, it contains another stuff. So there's a lot of reaction, and it's not just the water. So the question is, how clean is the hydrogen fuel? Because when we want to use the hydrogen, first we need to make it. So this is the conventional hydrogen production. We have methane, natural gas, and after the process of steam methane reforming, we will have the hydrogen and the carbon dioxide. For this one, we call that the gray hydrogen, and this one takes account for 95% of the total commercialized hydrogen in the world. So this one, 10 to 20 kilogram carbon dioxide emission for every kilogram of hydrogen produced, according to the European Biogas Association. I tell you this number. If you want to produce like diesel or gasoline, it will just take around 1 kilogram for every 1 kilogram of that fuel produced. And then we burn them. It will be like 3 or 4. So totally just 5. But this one already 10. So we don't want this to happen. So they make something they call that the blue hydrogen. This one, 4%. And it emits 5 kilograms of carbon dioxide for every kilogram of hydrogen produced. Just the same with other fossil fuel. So this is the average cost for the fuel for every 100 kilometers in the European country. So you can see that electricity is like just around €5 for every 100 kilometers. And another one like diesel, everything, you can see, you hardly see anything that can pass €10 for 100 kilometers. But here, hydrogen, 11, this is 11, 13, 11, even 15 is too expensive. So every kilogram of the hydrogen made by the method, the conventional method that I just mentioned before, $2 to $3 for every kilogram. And sometimes it's even $10 for 1 kilogram. It's too expensive. This is unacceptable. So that's why we don't want to stick with the conventional hydrogen if we want to, like the common purpose, like transportation. That is unsustainable. So that's why biohydrogen. We think about how to make this. Biohydrogen, according to the European Biogas Association, can achieve negative emission. They say that up to minus 26.5 kilograms carbon dioxide for every kilogram of hydrogen produced. And how they can achieve this one? They use the waste. They claim that they use the waste. So if we use the waste, we don't do anything with the waste, that waste will emit the carbon dioxide. And if we do it in the biological way, some of the microorganisms, they can even consume, they can even utilize the carbon dioxide to make something useful like hydrogen. So that's why it could achieve negative emission in theory. So actually for me, biohydrogen is a very large field. We have so many things like dark fermentation, photo fermentation, and even now, 2025, they have something they call the bioelectrolysis. But since the time that I studied in Functional University, 2015 to 2019, we only have the dark fermentation, which is said that one of the highest production rate for biohydrogen. So this is one of the typical large-scale reactor, simple design. So like this one is the main tank, and we have the input, the nutrient here into this main tank, and inside we call that the hydrogenic bacteria, which can, or maybe hydrogen-producing bacteria. And once we have the product, it will go to the gas and liquid separator, and the liquid will go here and the gas go here through the neutralizer, and eventually we have the biogas. And then we're going to purify the hydrogen from the carbon dioxide and compress it to have the final product. So that is a simple design for the lab scale biohydrogen. If we want to use like a simple method like anaerobic digestion. So this one, the advantage is very high production rate, and it's easy to upscale because it doesn't need the sunlight. If you need the sunlight, which means, you see this room, if it's in the production facility, so I'm gonna put the reactor over there, and I think that's it, because maybe this position can be exposed to the sunlight. But if we don't need sunlight, I can build the whole room with the facility. So that's why it have very high capability for scaling up. And also, the bacteria can use the waste feedstock to produce the hydrogen. And this one, up to now, I think is the closest one to be commercialized. So talking about the conventional hydrogen, that one 95%, 4% for the blue hydrogen, and just 1% for the green hydrogen. And you know that we do not have any consensus thing about what is a green hydrogen. They said the green hydrogen is just the hydrogen made from solar panel or wind energy, not just the biohydrogen. So, but according to the European Association for Biogas, they say that biohydrogen is a kind of green hydrogen. So this one only 1%, is very low. So this is the mechanism for the biohydrogen production using anaerobic digestion. So first, we're going to have the feedstock lot of things like the proteins, polysaccharides, and fat, and it will break down into the smaller molecule into butyrate or acetate. So every time it is break down to butyrate or acetate, it will produce hydrogen, and eventually the hydrogen will be converted to the methane in the phase 4 methanogenesis. And actually, if you want to produce the biohydrogen, we don't want this to happen. Hydrogenotrophic methanogenesis, 4 molar of the hydrogen just to create 1 molar of methane. This is cheap, this is expensive. It's not worth it, right? So we need to delete this one. So, and how we can delete that one? That phase number 4, methanogenesis. So this is how we do the pretreatment of inoculum, and that is how we prepare the bacteria to produce biohydrogen. So this is our building, and we get the inoculum from this lake. We can harvest it from any wetland soil anywhere, and then we're gonna do the heat shock, like 35 degrees for like 1 or just a half hours. And this one, we will cultivate this one, pH 5.5, until we can have the good inoculum and then use for hydrogen production. In order to analyze this one, we're going to use the GC-TCD. And for example, this is the good result for the inoculum. This peak is hydrogen peak and carbon dioxide peak. This one, 200 millivoltage. If you see something like this in the sample, which means the inoculum is good. But if you see something like this is the methane peak. You can see that this is just 40 millivoltage, which is much lower than this one, which means the bacteria use your valuable hydrogen to make the inexpensive, cheap methane. So this is very bad. If you see something like this, you need to do it again. And I would like to introduce the simple operating regime. So for the feedstock, we can use anything rich in carbohydrate, any waste, like maybe like the molasses or something like that, carbon rich. And usually we use the CSTR system. It's the continuous stir tank reactor. This is the most common one. pH around 5 to 6, and this is the most important one, the hydraulic retention time, about less than 2 days. So this one is the most important factor for the biohydrogen production because it will define the production rate. But one thing for the hydraulic retention time. For hydraulic retention time is the time that all of the substrate will stay inside the reactor, which means if we have lower the hydraulic retention time, we will have faster for the influent flow rate. We put a lot more of the input to have more hydrogen. But at the same time, if the feeding pump is too high, it will wash out the cell. The cell inside the reactor will go out. And without the cell, then we will have nothing to consume this feedstock to produce the hydrogen. So for my PhD thesis, this is one of the methods that I developed, immobilization. So I just put the bacteria into this small little particle, and then here you can see it right here, to produce biohydrogen. So the bacteria stay inside, so I can reduce the hydraulic retention time up to 30 minutes, which means for this 1 liter, 30 minutes means 48 liter of the nutrient liquid pass through this one. This is just 1 liter. It's very fast. And in our university, what we can achieve in 2024, I don't know how, 2014, I don't know how about now, but at that time, 15 liter for every liter of reactor for every hour at room temperature. this one is the highest data that the world can achieve for biohydrogen, 15 liter. So I would say that this is one of the best results, but because I cannot find any something higher than this one up to yesterday. So we also built the first pilot plant in the world for biohydrogen in the campus in 2011. I see that, I read the news and I see that in Japan, they built a plant like this in 2017. And in Korea is 2022. Maybe, I think it's bigger than this one, but at least this is one of the first prototype. And yeah, we also built a car for it. And first biohydrogen car made by Functional University. It's still, right now it's still there in the exhibition. So biohydrogen production via the depth fermentation also have some drawback. The first, the main issue with this one is the incomplete digestion. Because you see that I push the bacteria to produce the biohydrogen too fast. So if it's too fast like that, it will produce a lot of waste, mostly organic waste. We have a lot of organic acid, like, so the yield is actually very low. 1 molar of glucose will have 2 to 4 molar of hydrogen. 4 is unrealistic for this one already. Because if we want to go for 4, which means we will need to reduce the hydraulic, we need to increase the hydraulic retention time, which means, so we can have more complete digestion, but at the same time we will have less hydrogen. And mostly, I will aim for this one, 2 molar of hydrogen. But after I graduated, my professor focused on this one, photofermentation, so they can have 1 molar of glucose for 12 molar of hydrogen. But actually this one, we need the sunlight, and it's not as fast as the depth fermentation. And also for the effluent for the biohydrogen, we can also use for producing methane and bioplastic. And even now we have new technology, we call that the bioelectrolysis, we just electrolyze water using the microorganism to have hydrogen and oxygen. So I make my conclusion for this one. Hydrogen is the renewable and eco-friendly. You can have to reduce greenhouse gas emission, which is suitable for net zero strategy. And the bacteria can utilize various of the organic waste. I call that the double solution, both for environment. We cut out the greenhouse gas and we also cut out the waste. And we have the upcoming advance in biotechnology, which is whole promise for scaling up the efforts. And also, even since 2020, they already say this one, and now I see one of the last video from the European Association. They still say that we need some policy to make it to do anything that is needed to reach the commercialization maturity. So that is for the biohydrogen, and thank you for your kind attention. Any questions? Welcome. Sorry.
Okay, thank you for your very interesting presentation. So, please, Professor, if you have a question.
Okay, thank you very much for very, very interesting talk. I'm Nomura from SIT in Japan.
Yes.
My question about to produce hydrogen using bacteria. I think the selectivity looks quite nice, and I think yield of the hydrogen looks quite nice. And my question is about the reaction rate of the bacteria. Is it we need to develop, or that is enough for the industrialization?
Thank you, Professor. So I just repeat your question, so clarification. So you said that, is that the bacteria enough? I think it will depend on a lot of factors. Because right now, according to my professor, he said, because I always suggest that we need to use the pure culture if we want to have more hydrogen, if we want to increase the hydrogen rate. Because as I said before, the methanogenesis is going to eat all of the hydrogen. Because I see the some of my classmates, they try to produce the hydrogen, but they only have methane because they just eat all of the biohydrogen. So I think it depends on the price. If you want to focus on, because right now, you see, actually, I see the photo fermentation, it has a very high yield, 1 molar for 12, which means it will be good if you are doing the business. Like I am your producer, you are the boss, and you tell me now you just give me 1 molar or maybe 1 molar sugar, and then you need to buy that 1 molar sugar, and then what I can give you is 12 molar of hydrogen. It will be very good, but the thing is the rate. If we do that, it will be very good price for the hydrogen, but we do not have enough hydrogen to run whatever we want. So anyway, that will be, I think it needs a lot of consideration. Yeah, and yeah, so thank you for your question.
Thank you. So next question, please.
Hello, my name is Berta from Universitas Gajah Mada. So your presentation is very inspiring, and I'm very happy to see that your research will be close to commercialization.
Yes.
Is that right? So when it comes to commercialization, I'm concerned about the fuel security. I mean, particularly for the feedstocks, for the supply.
Yeah.
So how do you see if it comes to commercialization? It should be like in the large scale. The production should be in the large scale. So do you have any concern on the supply stock? Is it sufficient, or what kind of supply stock that you could use for doing the biohydrogen production? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. May I have 1 second? So yeah, supply, that is the one issue. Let me tell you the story. Right now, what I'm doing is develop the E. coli strain to produce bioplastic from glycerol. 2021, the crude glycerol is very cheap, $100 for every ton. 2022, I don't know what happened. It raised to 500, 600, even 800. And for now, I think it's about 300. So that is the problem of supply. And glycerol for all over the world, 6 million tons. If we have 6 million tons, we can only produce I say in the best scenario, maybe 2 million tons of bioplastic. And in Vietnam, what we need is 10 million plastic. Yeah, ton of plastic already. So which means the supply is too low. So yeah, one of the things, if the supply is too low, or maybe the price is too high, it's like meaningless to use that one to produce we call that the value-added products. You see that bioplastic is already at a higher hierarchy comparing to the hydrogen. Hydrogen is just a fuel, but bioplastic is in the high level, and we already have that problem. Which means, what I can suggest, because right now we just lack of technology to do that. Every time we want to use any feedstock, we need to do the research to optimize that fermentation. So I hope that if we have a lot of people, and also a lot of funding research, we can do a lot of things. And so, if in the industrial perspective, we can have more flexibility. Like maybe this year crude glycerol is too high. Maybe we can use something else, not just a crude glycerol. Yeah. Also the same stuff with biohydrogen. So I believe that we have the technology to utilize a lot of the wide range of feedstock, and we can have the sustainable production for any kind of product. Yeah, supply is a big issue. Yeah.
Thank you. So maybe we will have time for one more question. Please.
Yeah, may I from Chem UTT Thailand. So I have like very similar question to her, and about your supply. In your study, have you tested any kind of inhibitor or interference in the hydrogen bioproduction or not? Because if you want to commercialize into like any kind of waste, then it's for sure not just only the organics waste that should be there. It will be something else that could inhibit the growth of those microorganisms that you needed. So have you considered about it or tested in the lab?
Thank you for your question. So also go back to the crude glycerol story. Like as you said, like for just they said crude glycerol, it has methanol inside at a certain level. So so that one need a lot more research, because like what I'm doing right now, I just not doing the genetic engineering, but also the evolution technique to make that E. coli can live inside the crude glycerol. Because crude glycerol, the concentration is very high. You see that we have a lot of container of crude glycerol. We just put it outside. We don't need to have any special condition to store it, which means nothing can live inside that. So which means if you want to make our bacteria to use that waste, we need to make them adapt to that waste first. So inhibitor maybe is a double-edged knife. It could have some good benefit because it's a waste. Nothing want to eat that one, so it's better if we can save some money for storage. But also we need some time for our valuable bacteria to adapt to that one before we can move on to the downstream step. So a lot of stuff happened. Like we use crude glycerol, or maybe we use the swine manure. We also encountered some such an inhibitor, like as you said. So.
Antibiotics could be an inhibitor in the swine farm.
Yeah.
Any drugs?
Yes. So so that is what I shared.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So maybe we start the first topic here, and now please we pass to the next presenter, Professor Hirianto from the Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, University Erlangga from Indonesia.
Yes.
And Professor Hirianto will give a speak on the role of additive manufacturing